There's something terrible happening in South America that is not being reported on in the United States. A remote community in Ecuador is having their home threatened by land development at the hands of big oil. Though a volunteer guard has been able to stall their efforts, the resistance is now facing threats to their lives, including the calculated murder of their leader, Eduardo Mendua. The A'i Cofán people of Durango, in Ecuador's eastern province, are facing a threat from the state-owned oil company, PetroEcuador. Their land is bordered on the north by the Agua Rico River and lies near an oil boom town in Ecuador's Amazonian frontier. The Cofan are hedged in on all sides by active oil concessions. Their home is the last island of pristine, primary rainforest within miles. PetroEcuador plans to open 12 kilometers of road into the territory from the west. This will cut a path of up to 60 meters wide to make way for pipelines, electrical cables, and heavy machinery. It's also they construct and operate 3 oil platforms and 30 wells right in the heart of their forest. The company began work on the road in January of 2022, but the A'i Cofán were not properly consulted beforehand. When the people realized what was happening, PetroEcuador had already cleared several kilometers of road. The community organized a group of about 130 members to serve as a territorial guard, the Erisiun Guard. Armed with wooden spears, they demanded that the company cease operations and remove their equipment. So far, they have managed to keep the company from resuming its activity. Despite being able to keep PetroEcuador at bay, groups of armed forces have come on several occasions to intimidate them and attempt to forcibly remove them in order to let the company enter. As if the urgency to protect the homes and lands of the A'i Cofán people against the greed of PetroEcuador were not great enough, the cause has been further heightened by the brutal assassination of the leader of the Erisuin Guard, Eduardo Mendua. Eduardo Mendua was shot by hooded assailants while in his garden on February 26, 2023, leaving behind a wife and 6 children. Despite ongoing threats against his life, Eduardo never shrank from the calling to protect his home, his lands, his family, and his people from the encroaching activities of PetroEcuador. Despite this tragic loss, the Erisiun Guard remains steadfast in staving off the oil company that threatens their homes. In the wake of his murder, the Erisiun Guard is in need of renewed support to continue their cause. The families in resistance are away from their homes, living in makeshift shelters covered with plastic tarps. They need funds to purchase food, supplies, and materials to improve their shelters and allow them to remain in place until PetroEcuador gives up its plans to drill for oil on their land. Your help can make a big difference. $1 can buy a lot more in Ecuador than it can in the States. The organizers estimate $1,000 is needed per month to sustain the families in resistance. If we raise more, that money will go towards promoting their cause through meetings with government officials and the media. It will cover transportation costs and can help pay legal fees as Cofan takes their case to court. Please support them with your donations, by spreading the word, and by sharing this fundraiser. In Eduardo's memory, let's protect this sacred forest for generations to come.